Good morning. It's Cami. How are you today? I am so excited to be with you here. One of the things I wanted to talk about was those endless lists of things that we try to get done in our business. I am a business owner. You may do this in your job too, so it could help you what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it from the business perspective because I know as business owners, we wear a ton of hats. Also, I did that a lot when I worked in nonprofit. So, you wear just all of these hats and you have all of these tasks and things that you have to get done. And hey, it's like every Friday, you come back to the end of the week, you have your list of things you need to get done. And there's this small number of things that end up on the end of your list every week. And I like to call that the Friday list. So on Friday, when you open up your to-do list and you see these things that have lingered on your to-do list, maybe for weeks, months, some people years, things you really want to do, but all of the other tasks that are, crowding you in your business, the thing for me, I'm just going to talk from the business perspective, business owners perspective, clients, tasks, things that need to come up, things that come up during the week, your children, your family, all of these things. And then you end up not doing those final things. So you continually move them from one list to the next. So you put them on your list again on Monday and you're like, I really want to do this thing. Maybe it's writing that book, or maybe it's creating a course, an online course, or creating some kind of lead magnet, or doing some kind of that kind of thing. And you are just pushing it off. You're pushing it off till the next week, every week. And it happens because we are really, really focused on getting our regular stuff done. And it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that it's not ever urgent enough for it to get on your calendar. So what I was going to talk about today was sort of how to do that, how to get those projects that you really, really wanted to get done, but keep putting them off and putting them off and putting them off to the next Friday. On that Friday list, I like to call it the Friday list, the thing that's left over at the end of the week every time, and you don't get it done because you have so many other priorities. And it's never the urgent thing, right? It's never the urgent thing, but it's an important thing. Maybe it's something you really, really want to get done. Like, again, writing a book, putting together an online course, launching something new. But all of those other things kind of get in your way. So that is where we're at. Hi, Nick. How are you doing? So yeah, that's absolutely what I want to talk about today. So a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the big three, and I'm just going to pull it up on my screen right now so you can see it. Again, I did an entire video about this. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but I did want you to see, because I didn't show you this last time, the template that I use. I've kind of drawn it out myself on my pad, but I have three things that I decide I'm going to do every quarter, and they're usually big projects. And I do three, but honestly, it could just be one. It could just be one. I do three because I'm running a business. I have a family life I'm running, and I also have some online training and stuff that I do. So I have these three goals every quarter. That's, for 3 months. And in month one, which one am I going to work on? In month two and in month three. And then I have the three things under each one that I need to do in order to get it done. Because usually a big project, like you can't just write a book on your to-do list. If you put write a book on your to-do list, you'll literally never get it done. You have to break it down into smaller pieces, or otherwise you'll never get it done. So I've learned that for myself too. You also have to put it on your calendar. You have to put implementation blocks on your calendar, or it won't get done. I've got a content creation block that lives on my calendar for Tuesday mornings forever. And it sits there. It's a 2-hour block, and I always have it on my calendar. It's just, you can't schedule me during that period of time, because that's the time that I work on the things that I need to get done for this kind of stuff that I give to you. For example, like, how do I get ready for these kinds of lives and things like that. So that's really important to kind of keep in mind, is like, what is it that you're going to be working on and focusing on that, and then adding it to your calendar. So go back and watch that video. It's how to get things accomplished. It's on my YouTube channel. So I'll put the link on here in just a second for what that is. I have it here so I can grab it. But yeah, that's really critical. So what are the important things though? And that's the question that I want to talk about today. Like, how do you determine what's important versus what's urgent? And important and urgent aren't the same thing. Again, so you may have like things you have to take care of. This morning, my daughter wanted me to drive her to school. And so it's a little cold, not very cold, but it's cold for Houston. And she's like, Mom, it's cold. Can you drive me to school? And I was able to say yes because I'd already planned what I was going to talk to you guys today, a while back. So I don't fly blind, right? So how do you get to the point where you can do that? That's a good question. Oh, cool. Oh, Nick says he put the big three in Trello and it's been working quite well for me. I'm glad. Yeah, it just gets you focused, right, on the right things at the right time. So I appreciate that, Nick, for you saying that. So yeah, I'm going to pull up here something that kind of is interesting to me. So I, a couple of months ago, found a book. It's called Business Blind Spots. It's by Doug Winnie. And this Business Blind Spots book, I just try to read or actually use Audible. I listen to books on Audible. It's a way for me to save time. I listen to books about business and, organizing business. So I'm a marketer, public relations person by trade. I did not get a business degree, all of that. So I am constantly sharpening that saw. I'm constantly sharpening the saw of, what can I do to grow the business? And so Doug Winnie has these 5 pillars that he talks about in business. And I just want to talk to you about each one of these pillars because I think it's important for you to think about the things that are important for your business in this manner. So I love what he said. Oh, hello, Gabe. How are you doing? It's good to see you. So the 5 pillars I'll just read them off to you and then we'll talk about each one. So the 5 pillars for your business to make sure that you have, you're working on the right things in your business so that you will get noticed, that you will get out there, so you will not be, just only working on your client work or something like that, are lead generation, of course, sales, operations, finance, and team. And so I want to talk about each one of these because I think they're each really, really important. And sales, I'd also add in marketing in there because sales and marketing need to go together. I really love what the great Don Miller says. He has a brand called Story Brand. He talks about a business being like an airplane. And, you have in the cockpit, you have your leadership, who sets the direction. And in the engines of the plane are sales and marketing. That's what makes the engines go. The body of the plane is really about the products that you have and all of your operations and things like that. The people on the plane, right? Your team and your customers and all of that. And that's the body of the plane. And you want to make sure that is light but is robust. And then the overhead. I'm sorry, the products are the wings, right? So the products are the wings of the plane that keep the plane aloft because you have products that you can sell, whatever those are, whether they're information products or coaching or whatever it is you do, done for you, what I do with my company, social media, and then cash flow. And cash flow is the gasoline, the fuel of the plane. And so I just love that analogy that you have a plane and it's going somewhere and you need all of these things to balance. So that's what I really love about what Don Miller says, but I like how Doug Winnie in his book, Business Blind Spots, really talks about these pillars because you can always think about what you should be working on right now by thinking about these 5 pillars and rating yourself on them. So in your business, are you doing great with lead generation? Do you have leads coming in all the time? And when they come in, do you have a process by which they go through? So is there a landing page? Is there something they can download? Is there a free a free lead magnet or something like that? You need a funnel. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple, but you have to have some mechanism to get people from their interest in you, I'm interested in you, to actually engaging with you through that process. So thinking about sales, so if you thought on the scale of 1 to 5, where are you on lead generation? Are you saying, hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm, at a 3. Are you doing great? You're getting leads in every day because you have, everything's running and you're constantly getting new leads on your list. That would be like a 5. And then you're like, I don't even have a lead process. What are you talking about? That's a 1, right? So where are you on that? And then for sales, where are you on that? Do you have a process that people can work with you? Is it automated so that you're not constantly having to do all that work, so you only get to the point where you're in where it's taking your actual personal time once they get through a certain, group of things. Like they've downloaded your lead magnet. Now they've booked a call. Now you're talking to them. So are all those things in place? Like a place where they can book an appointment with you, all of those things. And then operations would be the third pillar. And that's really about systems. And so that's one of the things, like, you can look at your business too. Do you have systems for everything? I used to work on this. I, thought that I would put together custom packages for all my clients. I'd hear what their problems were, and I'd put together custom packages. And the problem with that was I was honestly sometimes scrambling to put all the pieces together because I didn't have a system through that. And it just took a lot of time, and you just couldn't service as many clients. And I feel like we did a good job of it, but it was just a lot. It was time consuming, and you couldn't grow the way you want to grow as a business. And so operations is that. Operations is your, systems that you have for actually, once you get those leads in, servicing those leads. So one of the things that I've heard from business owners, other agencies and consultants like myself, marketing, PR mostly is who I work with. They'll say to me, "Well, I really don't want a bunch of leads, because even if I got a bunch of leads right now, I couldn't work with them. Like, I don't have any capacity. I don't have any way to really work with them. It's months out. So I know a lot of my colleagues will cut off leads at a certain point and tell them, I can't work with you for another 3 to 4 months. And they will refer them out, or, they'll do different things to kind of get through that. And the problem with that is that you'll end up like some time down the line, maybe 3 to 6 months later, maybe one of your clients quits because they have other things that they need to do, or you've satisfied them, or you've solved their problem, or they go out of business, or whatever it is. And you suddenly find yourself without the client. So you start to scramble, right? And all of this time you've turned off your marketing machine. And what ends up happening is you have that feast or famine cycle. So, you'll be down here, you'll be up here, you'll be so busy you can't even hardly think, right? You're staying up till midnight, you're doing all the things. And then somebody, kind of drops out, or doesn't pay you, or whatever. And I've been in business for 20 years, so I've seen this. And then, suddenly you're here and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get another client to replace that. And unless you have continually been building your pipeline, those clients aren't there. And it takes another 3 to 6 months to get them. Sometimes 3, sometimes 6, depending on how well you have that primed, right? And so that brings me to, sorry, I'm coughing still from a cold I had last week. So that brings you to really that sales piece again, right? I do not have a document, Gabe, but I'm telling you what this is from the book. And the book is Business Blind Spots by Doug Winnie. And so I've been listening and reading to this, and I love how he uses this as a pillar, right? So operations is there, and I'm just talking through it. Like, I'm not even using his content in the middle. I'm just saying, I love thinking of a business as pillars. And so there you go. So I do have a link to a membership that I'm going to be starting soon with people that have, that basically do marketing and sales and this kind of stuff for a living, because we as marketing and PR and sales people are often the worst at marketing and PR and sales for ourselves. It's kind of a thing, sort of a well-known deal. So anyway, I'm thinking through this as I'm thinking about how to solve problems for this kind of a group. And so if you're in that group, cool. You can tell me what your problems are, but that's what it is. Hello. So finance is the next one. So operations, I talked about that. It's having those systems in place, this feast and famine. Got it. Yeah, business blind spots. Yep, there you go. There it is. And I've been listening to it on Audible. It's a really great book. As you can tell, I'm excited about it. So the fourth thing is finance. So of course, money matters and counts. And if you have a business and you're not looking at your P&L on a monthly basis, you really have to think about how you're going to manage that. So I did pull up all of my tech stack for my business and how I do each one of these. So when we're done here, I'll show you on the 5 pillars what I use for each one of those 5 pillars in my business, because I think sometimes people like to see the tools other people are using. So I'll just let you know. So finance is really about cash flow, profitability, all of that, and really understanding like where you're at on that front, right? So, hey, Alan, how are you doing? So Alan is saying good afternoon, and I'm saying good morning because we are in different parts of the world. He's in Ireland. Cool. Good to see you, Alan. So yeah, finance is like really, really important, as far as those go. That's your fourth pillar. And then your fifth pillar is team. And so you may be a solopreneur or working by yourself, or maybe doing a side hustle, or maybe if you're an employee, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just working by myself in my office. Um, Team is really important. And if you don't have a paid team, it's okay. But you might want to think about how you can create partnerships with other people to lighten that load. And I know Alan, for example, has done that very well. He has a partnership with several people, and they put together packages together to offer to people. So I love that idea. You don't have to have employees. I do. I have employees. I have like actual employees, and I have contractors. And so you can also hire contractors all the time. I started with Upwork. So I'd go on Upwork and I'd find people that were did the things that I needed done specifically. That's worked really well. And over the years, I've grown this really great network, and I have lots of people that I work with. So in my business, we have 7 employees, but we have several other contractors that we work with very regularly. So that's really exciting to have those kinds of resources, but it took that kind of thinking. So you want to think about, what can you take off your plate? Let me explain. Early on, when I was really worried about not being able to afford that, how I did that. So I have a virtual assistant, and I hire them through startups.co. And startups.co is basically they're a great company that helps startup businesses, and they have a virtual assistant program. And so you pay them, I think I paid like $500 a month or something. And I have Devana, and Devana is like basically the heart of our business in many ways. She runs everything in my company as far as the schedule, and she helps with social media breakfast, and she just does a lot of things. But when I first hired them as a company to help us, I didn't really know if I could afford that. But then I realized that I could offload some billable hours onto my VA. I was doing a lot of administrative stuff, like putting together spreadsheets and organizing different things. And I was doing all of these different items, and really it was a waste of my time in some ways, because it was keeping me from being able to build the business, right? And so I just billed the hours that Devana spent on those tasks to the account as I would have billed them myself. And in the end of the day, it paid for her for the whole month. So I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that I could actually, do that. So it's a mindset issue with affordability on these things. I really just highly recommend you get somebody to help you with pieces of the job, whatever that might be. And then maybe, give them some of your other stuff too. Like she does all of my scheduling. She does all of the stuff around reaching out to guests and stuff for my shows. And yeah, it makes like all the difference in the world. But I had to grow into it. You see, so you're going to have to grow into it. So the 5 pillars, I'm going to say them again: lead generation, sales. You need to have all that sales and marketing. Operations, finance, and team. And this comes from Business Blind Spots. I'm going to use your thing again, Gabe. Business Blind Spots, the book. Okay. So, oh, wrong thing. Here it is. So here it is, Business Blind Spots. So that's the book. You want to do it. Now I'm going to share with you my tech stack. You guys want to see that? I'll share my tech stack for all of these pillars. I thought to myself this morning that might be fun to show you guys how I'm working on each of these pillars. There's another guy that one of my mentors, his name is Todd Herman. He talks about working on your business and your pillars. And one of the things when you rank all your pillars, like say I'm doing really well in finance, or I have, whatever, wherever you're lowest, when you rank yourself 1 to 5 on each of those pillars I spoke of, that's where you want to work first. You want to think about what you want to do in that area to shore up your business. So let me kind of start with pillar 1. And actually I have the pillar 5 up right now. So I'm going to pull up pillar 1. There we go. So pillar 1 for me is lead generation, right? And so for lead generation, I use ConvertKit. In fact, the link that is in the description of this video is a link to a ConvertKit landing page. Okay, so I can create landing pages on ConvertKit and I can absolutely start to build my list there, right? Yes, thank you, Gabe. You're so helpful. Thank you. Business blind spots, eliminate hidden challenges for exponential growth. Thank you. I appreciate your help there, Gabe. So ConvertKit, I love it because it does have all of that in it. You can also use ConvertKit. What I love about it too is that you can have up to 1,000 people on that list for free. So you can have your landing pages and up to 1,000 people. So if you're new at building an online email list, it's a really, really cool tool and a great way for you to get started. So that is my lead generation tool. Along with that, and it's kind of a lead generation tool in some ways too, but going to sales. So that was pillar one, lead. Now sales and marketing, let's go to ThriveCart. I was talking to Alan about this yesterday. We were talking about ThriveCart. So I love ThriveCart because it is like it's a shopping cart. So you can create your online course, you can create everything in here. Right now, and I don't know how much longer they're going to do this, they have a lifetime value, a lifetime offer. So I think it's kind of expensive to start. I guess you could say that $600-700, but you never have to pay for it again. And I've been paying for Kajabi at like $198 a month, and it doesn't do nearly as much stuff as this. So I love ThriveCart. You can do upsells, downsells. You put your products in here, your information products, and I'm sure you could put regular products in here too. It has landing pages, and now just recently they came up with a what do you want to call it? A learning module. And so the learning module is you can put your whole online course in here. So it can completely take the place of something like a Kajabi or Thinkific or whatever. And it has the ability for you to really quickly spin up products and sell them. And you pay one time for this thing and you never have to pay for it again. So I just really like that. I'm kind of an LTD person, which is lifetime deal on software, because that is a cost center. And it's over and over and over again. You have to pay for it. And I don't mind paying for software. I pay for Canva. I pay for some other things. And that's how we spin up all of our, graphics and things like that. But yeah, it's great. So then for sales, I use Streak CRM for Gmail. And I'm going to make that larger here so you can see it. So here's Streak CRM for Gmail. And I use Gmail. We use G Suite. So if you use another email system, this won't work for you, but I love it because it's a simple, lightweight CRM to kind of follow your clients through the sales process. So you put them into the process and you can kind of move them along in your email. It sits on top of your email. It's very pretty, and you can see that. So it's free. It's a free thing, and they have a paid version, but I'm still using the free version. It depends on how many deals you close in a month. We tend to have bigger clients, and so we have fewer. So like our agency maybe will carry 6 or 7, done for you social media management clients. But for the bigger clients, like I will use my CRM, I will use ConvertKit. So like for the training clients, we'll use ConvertKit. So as people buy something, they get tagged in the ConvertKit as, like a course participant or smart social mastery participant. So that's a different thing. This is for our bigger clients where we do the done for you service and we walk them through each of the steps. Like, are they in the sales process? Where they are they in the sales process? Have we sent out a proposal? Have they accepted the proposal? How much is the deal worth? You can put that in there and it can tell you like kind of you're winning. This deal is worth this. And it kind of sits in your email and it gathers all their emails together in one place for you. So you can kind of really keep track of like the conversations you've had with them and everything. It's an amazing thing. You just tag them as they come in. It's really lovely. So I love that one. Let me move on to the next one. And then once we get to the proposal stage, I have a tool called Newsy. And Newsy is my proposals. And what you do with Newsy is it has these templates that you can use. So I created my own template, but they have ones that are already kind of in there for you. Like if you're a social media proposal, consulting proposal, branding proposals, these are already kind of written to give you a template. But what's cool about this one, about Nusii, Nusii, is that you can create blocks inside of there that you can use over and over again. So like you can have your team and you just click a button and your whole like written piece about your team goes in. So like this, if you're like having trouble with proposals, this really is very useful. It's just saved me hours of time. I used to really struggle with proposals, and now it's like pretty easy to spin up a proposal for someone. ClickUp. So that was, yeah, I want to keep track of what we're talking about. So that was really about sales, right? So the next thing that you want to talk about is team. Well, we can talk about finances. I didn't put that up here yet, but I use QuickBooks Online for finances. And I should have opened that up, but QuickBooks Online is the next one. And QuickBooks Online, honestly, is really powerful. We do all of our billing from there. We do everything from QuickBooks Online. I'm just bringing this up for you. So I love QuickBooks Online for that reason. It just really has that in there, and it'll take a minute for it to resolve. But QuickBooks Online is what we use for our thing. And my CPA likes that. So it depends on what you do. I know some people use FreshBooks and a bunch of other different tools, but I really prefer QuickBooks. And what's also nice about QuickBooks, which is, don't underestimate this, it actually integrates with almost everything. So like if you're out there trying to integrate it with other tools that you're using for financial stuff, it integrates with so many things and makes it very, very easy. And now they even have like these bookkeepers that you can hire right here. So you can come to QuickBooks, get the tool, hire a bookkeeper. I mean, highly recommend that you keep your that together, because you want to have your P&L every single month, which is profit and loss statement. And this thing just spins it up as one of their reports. So all you have to do is look it up, and you can see like your aging report, which means how many people haven't paid you yet. So we look at that every month, and I say, okay, where are we at? Who do we need to remind? So we've made a huge point of that so that we continue to have our income coming in. So if you start to have team and people that you hire, you have to pay them every month. And so if your clients don't pay you, you can't pay your team. So we really work on the aging report. We make sure that that's up to date. Really, really important. And it's really easy too. You just it tells you who they are, and you just send out a quick email. All right. And so for the team, which is the final pillar, I have two different things we do. And I'm going to go back to operations for a second. We also use this for team and operations. So it's kind of a twofer. We use ClickUp, which is a really cool tool to, a management tool. And we, all of our clients come in here. We have all of our tasks are in here. This is how we talk with our clients. This is how we communicate. This is how we communicate with each other. We have a little bell system and tagging system that we use so that everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing and when. And so ClickUp is really good for us. It's a very robust tool. I mean, something like Trello or whatever would work too, but we love ClickUp because it helps us all stay on the same page as a team. Hi, good morning, Russ. It's good to see you. Cool. And then the final thing that I was going to show you on my tech stack was Gusto. So for my team, this is the other thing that's like super critical to us. And by the way, it integrates with QuickBooks, which I already just showed you. And Gusto is awesome because you can easily hire people. It handles all the taxes for you in the US. And it'll handle all the taxes for you with the state. If you're hiring employees, it does your 1099s and your W-2s at the end of the year. It just emails them out to everybody. Like my 1099s go out to my people like by second week of January, and it's because Gusto does it for me pretty easily. And then we also do all of our payroll out of here. So we pay our 1099s out of here too. So if you're a contractor and you work for me, you sign up for Gusto here, and then I can pay you, and it just direct deposits in your account. So when I bring on a new employee, that's also one of the great things about this, because a lot of people won't get employees because of all the work. There's a lot of like paperwork and things that you have to do, and Gusto handles all of that for you. They even do the onboarding. So I'll send them over. They give me their personal email, and I'll send them an email that says, here, onboard yourself as a new employee. They go in, they add their own bank account information. They add their, so I don't have to deal with all that. They add their social security number, all the stuff that you need to do when you're being employed in the US. And then at the end of it, they notify the state. Gusto will notify the state. If I check a box, they will. And then what's really cool is that G Suite integrates with Gusto, and because we use G Suite for our email, and I just check a box saying I want to make them a new email. And so then Gusto will tell G Suite, and G Suite will make that email and send it out to them. So then they get a company email. It does everything. So honestly, I don't know if I'd have a team if it wasn't for Gusto. This is becoming a little bit of a commercial for Gusto, but I really love it that much. So anyway, so those are the 5 pillars, and those are the tools that I use for each one. I'd love any other questions you have. Again, thank you, Gabe, so much for doing this. But business blind spots is kind of the 5 pillars where I got that idea from. It's not my personal idea. It was created by Doug Winnie. And I just love this, though, because I feel like if you think about your business as pillars and you just work on each of the pillars as you see the weaknesses, you don't have to work on all 5 at once, but if you just, dutifully work on each pillar as you need to, maybe you need a better finance thing. So maybe you do need to work on that for a while. But going back to what I said at the very beginning, which some of you weren't here for that, but at the very, very beginning, I talked about needing to have a way for to create some goals. And so a couple of videos ago, I did an entire one about how to crush your goals. And I talk about the big 3. So you make 3 goals per quarter, 3 goal, and then when you have those goals, there are going to be 3 goals that, ladder up to a bigger thing you're trying to accomplish. So let's just say it again. Say I want to write a book. I really want to write a book, but I just literally have no idea how I'm going to have time for that. That's actually a thing for me. I really do want to write a book. I think that's why I keep saying that. So I need to probably write that as one of my goals for one of my quarters next year. So what I would do then is I'd say, okay, my big goal is to write a book. So what are the 3 things I need to do during the next 3 months to get that done? Because if you just put write a book on your to-do list, you will never get it done. It just can't happen. You can't do it. So, it's too big. So what would I need to do? I need an outline. I need to schedule, find the time, schedule it in my calendar, which is kind of sounds easy, but isn't sometimes. And then number 3, what would I need to do? I need to outline it. I need to do that. And I need to come up with a methodology to get it done on so am I going to speak it out? Am I going to videotape it? We were talking about this yesterday, Alan. How am I going to get it done, right? How am I going to write? Do I prefer to type? So what is my mechanism? So you want to think about that. And I always like to start with the end in mind, where do you want to end up? So cool. All right. So questions. How do you handle the bookkeeping, paying bills, transferring funds, reconciling accounts? Okay. So that's a good question. Glad you asked it. So in QuickBooks, I have an accountant. You can put somebody in there as your accountant. I also have, I do give them access to that. You can make sure that they can't do certain things. There's levels of stuff. So yes, I have a bookkeeper, and she has full access to that. Of course, she's been working for me for ever at this point, so I do trust her. So I understand that first blush, you don't really trust them, but there are roles that you can assign inside of QuickBooks. So you want to check that out, where they can't mess with your bank accounts and stuff. They can just go in and do the actual bookkeeping itself. So I do like the idea of having I like these QuickBooks certified people. That sounds good to me, because they'll have some level of trust you could have with them. So I like hiring somebody who knows what they're doing. So that would be, if I didn't have Lenny, I would probably do that right now. As far as that goes. So she does all of the bookkeeping. She does the bill paying. I keep a spreadsheet in Google Sheets that tells me where each client is. My spreadsheet, I can't show it to you because it shows too much information, but my spreadsheet has each client, and it has like what she needs to put in QuickBooks. And so I kind of outline it. Most of them have like similar things every month. So it's got a description, it's got what I've done for them, what the dates were, and so on. And so I keep track of that every month. And then she just goes in there, pulls that out, and makes the billing. In fact, I'm doing that today. So there, that's what I do is I'll just update that spreadsheet. I'll let her have it. Then she'll go into QuickBooks. She'll add it all in. She'll send it out to everyone. What I like about having her do it, she also has a Zoetica email address. She's kind of the heavy, like she's the one who goes and asks for the money. So I don't have to be like, hey, you haven't paid me. I mean, once in a while I have to if they're just not responding to her. But generally speaking, people do pay pretty well on time. So I mean, in my business, so it's been really good. But yeah, that's how I do it. And then as far as blocking certain times, Lenny and I get together once a month to go through the all of the credit card statements and stuff. And she asks like, what is this for? What is that for? It takes us about an hour and a half, sometimes less. Like lately less. Lately it's been taking us about an hour because we've just got this system that's going really well. And I'll open it all up. She'll say, what was your Facebook ads? And because we rebill those to clients, so I have to download those. Recently, I also just hired somebody in the Philippines to help me with just spreadsheets. So I'll send over like, here is like all of the bills. Like I'll download all of the receipts from Facebook for ads, and then he'll take it and pull it all apart and put it in the spreadsheet for the right clients. And then I give that to Lenny, and she puts it in the billing. So yeah, that person doesn't have access to my QuickBooks, for example. Does that help? I don't know if it does, but that's exactly how I do it. And as far as every week, I don't work on it every week, just like once a month. And payroll too. That's the other side of it, because we also have to have everybody fill out their timesheet. And I do all of the timesheets in ClickUp. So they put everything in ClickUp, all their hours and stuff. And ClickUp has a nice little timer in it for people to like be able to time how many hours they've worked on something. I don't necessarily bill hourly to the client. It just helps me to know where we're at. There's just a very few clients I do that. So yeah, any other questions? So yeah, that's it. I mean, so I just wanted to share with you this really cool book because I think it's really great one to listen to. And I do urge people to get training outside of their expertise. I mean, if you're running a business, you need to understand all of these different components. And so I spend a lot of time like, in the leadership, in books about business, how to run a business. It's not like I try not to only look at marketing stuff all the time and PR, because I do love to learn marketing and PR techniques and skills, and I do that as well. But my temptation would be to only do that, right? My temptation would be not to really get into the nitty gritty of how to run the business. And I think I love the simplicity of what this book was saying was these 5 pillars, right? Just 5 pillars that you have to keep track of. And I just feel like that's a lot easier to deal with than, all of the other things that sometimes come up. So that is it. So thank you guys so much for listening today. Oh yes, Xero is good. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Nick, there's other things to use. Xero is great. For me and my team, QuickBooks works the best because my team knows how to use it. But yeah, if I was looking for somebody to help me and I had a different tech stack, and I went into Upwork or wherever, I would look for people who specialize in that specific thing. So, when I went to get somebody to help me with the Kajabi stuff, I went to Upwork and I typed in, Kajabi, and then I saw who came up, and I picked Crystal. It worked really well. And she did all of our Kajabi stuff. So when we did the class, the online course, so I would just look for your tech stack specifically. I just think tech stack is cool, but like, don't let it stop you from getting the job done. Do you know what I'm saying? So do whatever works for you. But go all in. Don't always be like, where am I going to go next and how am I going to change? Go all in. I mean, it's faster. It's going to work faster for you as a company. If it's like too expensive and stuff, that's another thing. You can pivot later. But the idea is that don't let it stop you from launching something or getting something off the ground. So anyway, okay, enough of that. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Let me know if you have any other questions. If you watch this in the replay, let me know you are here. I would love to know which one of the 5 pillars you are going to work on. because I think that would be super cool to hear what other people are thinking. I was actually looking to see if I could find that list because I wanted to tell you them again, but I don't want to mess it up. So anyway, there you go. And definitely read the book. Business this is a very great book that I think has been amazing. And lovely Gabe put it here: Business Blind Spots, Eliminate Hidden Challenges for Exponential Growth. And Doug Winnie wrote that. And I love this concept of working on the pillars of your business. So go to Amazon, grab the book, go to Audible, listen to it if you're more of a listener like me. And yeah, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.